is. And I'm pretty sure both of these teams have agreed to the summit rules, which is basically indestructible nodes, no killing of the guy in arty, and there's only be one guy in arty at a time, or just in general. And you can only use tiger tanks, no panthers whatsoever. So it looks like everybody is going to be getting ready to go. So canal crossing, pumping station, and rail crossing. This is going to favor 47th pretty heavily. I do have to say, all offset points for 1 SBS. Nothing in the north other than canal crossing. Going to be pretty difficult if they do end up losing canal, and 47th and TRR coalition does end up making some good cap progress on the rail crossing. If they do cap rail crossing, that's going to set SBS back a lot. But on the flip side, if 1 SBS do capture canal crossing, which they are very capable of doing so, canal crossing is not like one of those like points where it's like impossible to take back. But 47th can just push off their defensive point and pumping station. This north up here that a lot of German SLs and recon like to get behind, it's going to be very difficult just because it is pumping station. If it was I think this is western approach. If it was that, this would be a lot more free and clear to kind of push up from behind with. But let's fly over to see what maybe 47th has cooking back here. Looks like they do have their medium already out and ready to go. Supply truck with the commander. Another Stuart tank is spawning the HQ with one on the border or on the wall already. Lots of players for the 47th on top of that truck. Hopefully they do not get sniped at all. Did they just shoot around and kill somebody? Okay, good. I thought someone just charged rocket, but and then probably a bunch of SLs in this truck as well. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. I'm very curious to see what well, it looks like there are some snipes up here for 1 SBS in those recon tanks, and they are. Oh my gosh! Holy snap! Oh, dude, huge snipes from 1 SBS with the 2 recon tanks. Oh my god, dude! I did not see that coming. Oh my god, huge start for 1 SBS here, and they're gonna get kind of free reign to the cap. I'm not sure if the commander got away. It looks like, I don't know if he did. I think yes, he did get away, but oh my gosh, what a start for 1 SBS there with all those snipes and the recon tanks. Oh my god, dude. Looks like they are gonna submarine the truck here on the other side. They're gonna have basically a free cap, so huge start for 1 SBS here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. The truck finally coming in for them as well, but only a handful of people probably into this truck. Yeah, only 5 people total, it seems like. And if Prada can get a rocket, and it's just 1 SL, gonna try to sit down his OP, but he could shoot his rocket and maybe kill him and the OP. He does not. Huge kill there by that SL. But just look at the map gain from 1 SBS already. Very well prepped there from 1 SBS. Holy shit. I did not expect that truck to get absolutely obliterated right that, dude. I'm still in awe of that. But now here comes all of 47th. Truck does go down. But just look at this whole map control and like this entire north sector. It looks like maybe they had a truck get possibly stuck somewhere in the far north. Or maybe they spawned that truck in, who knows? But the ground that one SPS has gained off of that early rocket snipe will secure them the cap and be ahead 3-2. Medium finally coming up here for 47th and the Stuart tank. But 47th actually, you know, despite one SPS basically capping the point, 47th are basically, they just have more people, I think, in cap with their tanks and everything. Yeah, none of the light or recon tanks or anything like that of the sort are even near the sector yet. But it looks like we do kind of have a tank fight coming on between the P4 and the Sherman. I think the Sherman will just be all right for the time being. One SPS seem to be consolidating back onto the hard cap. See something in the chat. Looks like the Stuart ended up dying. Or maybe it was the truck. No, it was just a truck that one of the tanks could see. Tom Flanks moving into this trench, but unfortunately does die to the support player near the garrison. It's a very easy garrison for Claws or Voss or maybe even the tank to get a rocket in there and possibly destroy that garrison. You can see one SPS playing their medium very cautiously. Even the recon is being played cautiously right now. Using basically the recon as just a support weapon for the, I guess, time being until they get enough fuel for a heavy, which, you know, they do have enough fuel for a Tiger tank. But it looks like, you know, two very far southern garrisons, and then everything else consolidated around the point. Probably not going to get too much of a launch garrison on the red-blue line between both canal and what is the 4th point pumping station. Yep. Oh no, Prada's in the water. Oh, but he is jumping. And Benny here just kind of sneaking in. See if he can maybe do something. It's spotted by Wilk. Stopped, does go down. So does Milk. Benny goes down as well. But 47th making some good progress in this north. They do have this kind of, you know, pizza slice wheat field up here where John and Melkor are at. Daddy Shark. Looks like the tank actually did get hit by the P4. And will just back up in time before getting hit a second time by that second AP round. These tanks get all repped up and ready to re-engage. Let's kind of join on this southern side, basically between church and pumping station. Looks like a Stewart down here for the 47th, being very key for the defense for the time being. Very surprised not to see any... Okay, they do have a heavy tank in the HQ. Very surprised not to see like any more tanks from 1SPS right now. A message in the chat real quick. Looks like maybe the Stewart finally went down here up in the north. Looks like he did indeed go down. But 47th on the attack, trying to get this on-point garrison. They can knock that out. They can open the door up for them quite a bit, but at the same time, pumping station also, you know, getting a little bit surrounded by some SLs. Yeah, it looks like 1SBS starting to lose some ground here up in the north, and that's gonna start the cap flip just a tad bit, but gonna be pretty well defended for the time being. See if Shower gets a grenade and maybe that OP airstrike mech or March. Oh, we have a flamethrower, boys. Holy. Teddy Roosevelt with the just out of range of the flamethrower. Gotta love flamethrowers and Hella Loose, dude. Unfortunately for Teddy, flamethrower's not gonna be too effective for any much longer, as maybe it will once Bolhas and company get over here. Oh, we gotta see a flamethrower kill. Come on, Teddy. Teddy's moving in. Oh man. Oh my gosh, dude. Gotta love the flamethrower action. Some good fighting up here in the north. I just want to see Teddy get more flamethrower kills, I have to be honest. See if he does. Maybe he won't. Teddy's so far the MVP other than the 2 recon tanks with the snipes at the beginning. Will he kill this spotter? He will not. Esper with the kill. And 1SPS starting to push down this line now. Tank does take a round of that P4. Oh, he has smoke loaded. And this might be the end of this medium. Medium gets hit again and will survive. Looks like a rep station is helping out him slightly win this fight, but he will go down to, I assume, that P4. Yeah, will be that P4. So it's gonna be a bit of advantage for 1SPS for a little bit. I do assume, yeah, there is a 76 on its way, and once that rolls in, that P4 will be good as gone. Very surprised not to see anything like right in this little like main road of the 47th right here. little bit of a shocker actually, but at the same time they do want to make sure that they secure their south. That's where a bunch of all these players, like I said, the church control, basically under 1 SPS control. They do have a garrison actually nearby it as well, so good stuff from them. Bunch of micro engagements down here. It looks like the forces, ever since losing that medium and kind of the flamethrower action, ever since kind of that all happened, 1 SPS have really taken control of this north side. But the 47th is going to be reinforced with a 76. I'm not sure where the medium die? Yeah, I think the medium died. Most likely. Looks like they do have a second tiger. They have 2 tigers actually on their way to wherever they will go. Oh, Wohas with the headshot. He has a lot of infantry. John Pork and Silence gonna do a basically a death run through the middle of a field with some smoke, doing what they can with what they have. Yeah, not gonna have too much success pushing through that, in my personal opinion. But it looks like 1 SPS starting to break through on basically the front door of pumping station a tad bit. Nothing too crazy that 47th and company have to be too concerned about. Benny does get a kill there. One SPS is trying to get stuff behind them as well. They do have a supply drop back here. Like, trying to get some spawns to build a garrison in the back lines, and maybe if they could start, if they even get like probably like I would say like, you know, 6 people to spawn up that garrison, and they can immediately run the hard cap, they could start flipping it. But in the meantime, Canal is starting to be contested and slightly flipping. Looks to be pretty much just all sector capping for the most part. 1 SPS is starting to get a little bit thin probably in the north, and actually the hard cap, believe it or not. Looks like they do have a second 76 on their way as well for 47th. Be very interesting once these 2 tanks do arrive. Actually, yeah, looks like they do have one back here. Very common spot for this tiger to be in. Just trying to get some snipes in. It looks like they actually destroyed a 76. So huge play by... I can't really tell the name. I can't tell that name, but good job to that tiger crew. The background of the ground is not being too nice to me. A huge kill onto that 76. Looks like a bunch of these 47th guys up here are actually kind of stuck here in the north. Already landing on them, MGs firing on their position, whole bunch of rifles. Looks like Tarny actually built an AT gun up here in the wheat field. I'm starting to lose some frame rates a little bit. That's just the game being the game. Is there a Lux back here? Oh, there's a Lux in the south. Frame rates being pretty bad. Frame rate is back. Oh, they might see this garrison here in the Lux. Ricochet. I want to see where it goes. Oh, it's going very far away. Schmidt faces a bunch of people. If Welchie's GF will get this last rocket into this Luke's tank. And it will go away. And we'll get stuck. Probably just a throwaway tank. Looks like we actually do have another tank fight up here in the north. Actually, not quite sure where this tank would be. It sounds like the Lux did, in fact, die. Oh, I heard another 76 up here. Maybe it won't go boom too. Who knows? But just take a look at the map real quick. Looks like they actually did remove this garrison in the far, far south. Probably a wise choice since they do have this one in the red zone. Not quite sure where they are trying to build that, you know, other garrison, maybe off of ISOP or not. But, you know, very good control for 1 SBS here in between Canal and Pumping. And even in the south, they're very, you know, highly under control right now. Teddy's putting away the flamethrower to bring out a bar. It will get the kill, but it immediately gets refragged there by the STG. Oh, airstrike just not giving a fuck. Just running across the field trying to do what he can. But looks like 47th RD is starting to dial in on the north to help support. Could be a big OP spawn kill, but Claws and Hugo got that STG down. It just looks like there's a tank being here in the south. Just a Stewart, and it does blow up. But as you can see now, with basically them removing this north a little bit and just suppressing it over and over again with RD and MG fire at 1 SBS, now crossing the field and starting to put a little bit of pressure on the airstrike and his crew up here. Not sure if his OP is burnt or not. I do not believe it is. I do not believe it is. He is throwing grenades. This could get the OP. I think he might have thrown him a little bit too far. I'm actually very shocked to see not more on the front lines for 47th. They're mostly down here in the south, even like outside of cap sector, so maybe they feel that there's a lot of 1SPS like outside of cap sector, which there is. Like if we look at the map real quick, there is, you know, a decent amount in the outside the cap sector. Looks like another Tiger is oncoming as well. Sensitive controller. Looks like they have built an AT gun back here for 47th. Maybe try to challenge these Tigers, and it's very rare that you actually see a Tiger this far up here in the north, like at all. So the fact that 1SPS do actually have one up here, it's very, very big for them. They can get some good crossfires, but it does look like all the way in the distance there is a 76 there. I think 1SPS did hear it, maybe. So far, the armor game has definitely gone in the favor of 1SPS. I've reached the out-of-bounds limit of admin cam. It looks like something actually just blown up over here. Looks odd, just to be a rep station, probably from Artie or something like that. Oh man. Someone just shoot a rocket and kill themselves. I feel like he's gonna get blown up by this tank shell on here in a few seconds. That poor man. Fortunately for Voss, he cannot pen the front of a Tiger with a bazooka. Best thing he could probably do is maybe aim for some tracks. Slow that tank down just a tad. Maybe they can try to get some satchels on him. Fortunately, does hit turret and hull again. But look at here in the south of just basically the middle point of Canal. 47th. Starting to break through a tad bit. Baron can maybe pop off here. Unfortunately, he does not because I'm a caster and I will curse the hell out of everybody. But you know, there's slight little progress here from 47th. If they could start maybe pushing through this middle, they could gain some significant progress. Maybe even put some pressure. Oh man, someone just got that snipe. It's like Kubiak. Now look at this Tiger over here in the south. Potentially have a crossfire on the other Tiger that is over there on the flare. And the Tiger up here in the north does go down to the 76. That is a huge break that 47th and company do need. Because it was looking pretty bleak for a while for them, if I do have to be honest, with their armor gain. If they would have lost that 76, it would have been very, very tough. to basically get back into the armory game at least. But now, starting to even it out a little bit. I would say 47th maybe has one more heavy than them, but no, they do have another Tiger line and weight in the HQ, so they can get that back up and running to the front lines. Looks like red is out of his tank, maybe? No, just like we just have a random TC up here of red. Not exactly sure what red is doing. Frontlining TC. Oh no. Oh, it was just exposed a little bit to, I assume, the Tiger on the bridge? This Tiger back here kill him? There's a very good chance that the Tiger over there killed him. Yeah, it had... Or is this Tiger down here? I don't know what Tiger exactly killed him. I didn't see where the round came from. But a little bit of a heartbreak right there. Oh man, I dropped something. .47th probably have to build some AT guns up. SPS starting to push on this front line a little bit. Shit. It's like are starting to get some OPs behind them for 1 SPS on the pumpkin station, so, and they do have OPs right in front of 502nd, so if, you know, 1 SPS do end up capping pumpkin station, they could be very quickly ready, in my opinion, to get ready for 502nd attack, like, right away. But look at this, 47th with something in the back lines. 1 SPS doing so good attacking this northern section that their back is kind of, essentially kind of completely open. Big Dog is drowning and he is dead. I think he went for a swim and did not realize he could swim. Bring swimming feature to Hell Let Loose, question mark? Looks like Church is starting to get under control now of 47th. And this 1 SPS MG is kind of just locked in. And Pierce will cut him down. Drink some water. Sorry about my camera work, but I had to drink some water real quick. Big spawn wave, I assume, on a garrison up here in the north for 47th. Yes, it is a garrison. 1 SPS are starting to dial in their own infantry onto that. But they are also dialing in the arty. One good arty shell will completely wipe out all of 47th here. Claws working his way up. Let's get an OP. Gets another SL. Gets Tarny. Oh, Tarny gets the frag. It looks like we do have an AT gun hitting one of the Tigers on point. And actually, I think he killed a rep station. I'm not exactly sure what they killed. What did they kill? Looks like they did kill an AT gun, but then they died to the Tiger. So I don't know if that's an even trade or what, but take a look at the map one more time. O squad back here. I don't know how to say that name. Don't like saying it either. Probably just hiding in a trench. I do apologize real quick. I'm just gonna go see what's going on back here. Tom Flank's just trying to find that last SL. He's just hiding in a bush. And unfortunately, he's probably... Yep, Baron does knock him down. That will be it for anything in the back lines for 47th for the time being. Looks like they are bringing up a medium now. Looks like the majority of the fighting is actually happening up here in the north. Huge arty splash. I think both teams already just splashing up here. '47 desperately trying to protect your garrison up here in the north. Satchel goes off, assuming that's a 1SBS satchel. Garrison's still okay. But just over halfway to go. If you're just joining me, this is a little friendly match between 1SPS and 47th here on Carentan. 1SPS did end up capping them first, basically due to a incredible snipe that they had with 2 recon tanks in the HQ, sniping basically a full truckload and destroying it from 47th. And ever since then, they've been pretty much slowly pushing 47th back. Basically fighting over the red-blue line for the most part, with some 47th control in the southern E4, E5 sectors, but nothing's too crazy happening for either team for the time being. Looks like we might have some heavies fighting indeed. Looks like there was actually one Tiger that was destroyed over here. Not quite sure where the other one is. Oh, he's all the way back there. Just trying to snipe this other 76. Look at this. There is Benji back over here again. Oh, but Pixa does knock him down. Or if does 1SPS have a garrison up here? They don't, but they do kind of close, but the fighting up here in the north is very important for both teams. You kind of lose this and you start to get wrapped around in the north of pumping station. It could be honestly GG's. The arty knock them all down. Oh man, that could be friendly arty too though. Looks like Airhead is deployed for 47th. Bombing run is also coming down. And somehow they both survive. Well, especially that SL, but might open the door a little bit for 47th now. I don't know why the bridge went away there for a second, but is what it is. Like this medium tank is starting to drive to the point. But SBS, 1 SBS AT does take out that medium Sherman. Back up here in the north. Already still hammering down around this garrison and all the infantry around it. And yes, we are playing with the summon rules, so no destroying of nodes, no harassing arty, and Tiger tanks only. But looks like 47th actually starting to gain some cap progress onto the point. Commander is on the garrison trying to protect it. And the thing about this unique cap point is you do get some sort of cap progress in the south. Pretty much where Tom Planks and his squad is currently at. It looks like they are starting to break through a tad bit. This is going to probably force 1 SPS to reset onto the on-point garrison. And maybe give up some ground that they did indeed have gained. Just over halfway to go. Very interesting to see because this is a lot. Okay, big spawn wave on the garrison. Arty, unfortunate miss there by the Arty. I think it actually landed. Yeah, it's landing inside this trench. If it lands 5 feet towards the garrison, it wipes out completely everybody. It's like the bombing run is coming in. It will probably wipe out this entire wave of 47th infantry. Actually, didn't do too bad. I would say kill about 5. But you have to wonder now, with that basically callback and that small little contest, it did pull away a lot of the weight here up in the north. OP is burnt. Walhas still up here. Maybe trying to get his refrag back on his OP. Does get him. Tico misses his shotgun shell. And Walhas is just trying to stay alive to get his OP back up. But this push is definitely forcing 1 SPS back to the hard cap, because they pretty much have controlled this whole basically waterway on each side for 47. It's starting to slowly get lost as another Tiger tank approaches from the south. Gotta wonder, where are the... There's a supply truck back here for some reason. What the hell? One rocket does go into this Tiger tank. Pierce. And we'll get the second rocket into him before getting blown up himself. Looks like we do have a 76 on this main road. This could be a huge tank fight that's Tiger does get around into that 76. 76, I think, is backing up. And the 76 goes down. Unfortunate play there. But huge play for 1 SPS. Such a huge play for that Tiger to knock out that 76. Oh, and a rocket snipe from somebody kills one of the infantrymen on the left side of your screen there just a few seconds ago. But now with the engineer going down in the north, it's pretty much all dried up here for 47 or for 1 SPS. They do have the garrison spawn and this OP, but I assume this OP, actually the OP spawn goes off. Hot 2 gets 1, gets 2. Can he get the 3rd? Shifty unfortunately misses his rocket. Looks like there is a 76 or at least a medium up here in the north. I think Hot 2 is throwing some grenades. Hot 2's gonna slowly crawl and burn the OP. Maybe. And the OP is burnt. This is a 76 up here. Yeah, it is a 76 up here in the north. Thought that was a P strike, but look at this. Garrison behind 47th. 3 SLs do spawn on top of it. Gotta wonder if they place their OPs and they shift the correct amount of manpower to pumping, this could flip very, very quickly. But it looks like 47th do know some shenanigans are happening, and they look to stop that. Like the Tiger actually ate around from, I think, the 76. But Tico's lying in wait. Oh, shower. Oh my gosh. Tico with a huge satchel. Shower did not see him. And they are starting to repair the tank, but they don't know that they're satcheled. All of the crew gets out to repair and possibly spot that 76, but this Tiger's gonna go down. Tico with a huge satchel play. They're gonna have no idea. Satchel's gonna go up any second, and that's gonna be the Tiger tank. Huge play there from Tico. Breathed a little bit of life back into the 47th, I bet, taking out that Tiger, because now they essentially just have one Tiger in the south with the 76 in the north, but the 76 in the north is kind of being harassed by infantry right now. Not too much, but oh, there's a Stewie up here too. And looks like Tomas gave a band-aid to the STG guy. And then he immediately died to a satchel. Very unfortunate for him. Trying to lose a little bit of frames again, but that's okay. I think that's just Carentan being a weird asset of a map. Gotta love controller stick drift right here. So looks like 47th did actually end up taking out that backline garrison. So if you're 47th, you know, you have to like weigh what you have to do, because there's a lot of people in the north, but your front door, it's getting overrun very quickly. This is a lot of people in the sector. Thankfully, 47th is holding their own in their gunfights. I eat me with the Grease gun. Gets cut down by a Gewehr. Let's head back down here in the south, where it's kind of like sparse action is being taken place. Nothing too crazy is honestly going down over here. I am zoomed out very far, yes I know, but it's just kind of the fighting going kind of just everywhere around this section. It's nothing, no central fight. This seems to be the main fight kind of up here on the front line, where you kind of expect it to be. Do have a ricochet here. Looks like 47th do have two 76s in the north. And possibly an AT gun. One of them does get penned. Let's get the top of your screen right there. And this could be a dead 76. It does not die. Looks like a bomber run is going down. I assume it's probably for the 47th. Question is, where will that be landing? Actually gonna be one SBS bombing run. I did not actually expect that. They're actually gonna kind of clear this front little way for these three SPS players to kind of move up a little bit more, but maybe they're not gonna move up. Maybe they're just gonna chill there and exchange phone numbers. Ricochet there onto one of the Tigers. Heat strike is coming down. And it actually takes out one of the Tigers in the south. That's going to be pretty big for 47th to finally make a play. If they can knock out this other 76, that will be absolutely massive for them, because they don't have any other heavy tanks. They do have one in the HQ, but that's their only other one other than this one at Canal. So if they can maybe take out this tank within the next minute or two, which is kind of unlikely, this tank is probably just gonna, you know, chill and wait for maybe that tank to push up to support infantry. But you know, these tanks, you know, for the half hour left, 47th is going to have to start making, you know, a little bit more movement. Because they 47th and, you know, the TRR coalition, basically, they have to know that this Tiger's here, and they have to clear him out in some form of way, whether that's ATs and satchels or tanks or possibly an AT gun. You know, the possibilities are endless of how you can kill tanks in this game. I mean, heck, they can put like a bunch of mines behind them for all we know. It's gonna be very interesting. This Tiger is moving up. He could expose his butt. Oh, this is so close. The 76 probably knows of him. He misses the first shot. Tiger does not respond. Far back 76 pens him. And that other 76 gets the kill. Good teamwork there by both 76 crews to knock out that Tiger. Now it's going to get interesting if with 2 heavy tanks on the board, what 47th can do with these 2 76s. Other Tiger, honestly, still 4 minutes away. They're not going to have another heavy for a few more minutes as well. So they're going to have this one heavy for essentially the next, I would say, 10 minutes. That's, you know, useful until another one is possible. And by that time, that one could get destroyed as well. I'm very surprised that 47th has not started to maybe move these tanks up a little bit more. Maybe they know that. Maybe they're just kind of waiting for infantry to maybe get a little bit more established here. So it looks like 47th down here in the south is starting to make a little bit more ground. Nothing too drastic, but slowly. But in the north as well, they're holding on to that north side very, very well. Very surprised Prada actually shot the AT gun and not one of the tanks with his rocket. Looks like Tito just getting on his binos, spotting those heavy tanks. Got to imagine that these 76s are going to start moving up, and it looks like they are because 47th is actually starting to cap the point. It's pretty much all sector capping. There's nothing else to it. It's all sector capping. Garrison in the north is actually also getting overrun a little bit. Kloss takes out the OP and will in fact take out the garrison now. 1 SPS with a half hour to go now. Also losing the garrison in the far north. That is their backup garrison. And if they completely lose the north, they shoot themselves in the foot drastically because now they only have 3 garrisons and only 2 of them are even in the blue zone. So now this is 47's chance to basically take this game back into their favor. Huge spawn wave does happen on the on point Gary. These heavy tanks are moving up pretty slowly. I'm just gonna put on the see where this 47th heavy tank is. Yes, he is on his way now. Oh man, the frame rate is so bad. It's like something blew up. I assume that was probably rep stations. I apologize for the frame rate. I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't think 47th knows that there's a heavy tank. John Jay with a huge kill. Bomber run is also coming in. This is a 47th bombing run. Not going to wipe out the garrison, but it's going to wipe out that southern flank. Rocket from Prada actually does pen the tank. Looks like the 76 actually does get a ricochet as well. Side shot in from another AT from Scour. I think this 76 will end up going down. Another rocket goes in. And yes, that will be a dead 76. Satchel also blows up. That, yeah, the 76 was completely dead. But look at all of 47th now. Completely flipping this game. Huge spawn wave on the garrison. Is going to start defending it a little bit. .47th on the back heels of this entire match. Finally gaining some cap progress. I think if one SPS will get maybe one more garrison spawn. Money with the huge rocket does wipe out the garrison. And this might be a cap back into the 47th favor for the first time this match. Looks like Tiger does know where the 76 is at. Nothing is at rail crossing, so if 47th actually do end up capping this, which it looks like they will, they could, if they're set up for immediate take onto the 4th point, this could get very, very bad for SBS. That will be a cap into the 47th favor. After just over an hour of grinding, 47th have finally taken the lead here for their sake. Don't believe anything is set up just quite. Actually, there is one SL back here. But there is some garrison set up, so even if it does start flipping and a 6-man spawn wave does happen, I don't think 1SPS will be in too much trouble. But now this is all 47th. They have a 76 now in the south. The tricky part is for 1SPS is trying to maintain some sort of presence in the north. It's gonna be very hard to do because you only have the bridge to cross off. Looks like 5th point or 4th point did get is getting contested. And it is starting to flip. I think it's just, one SL and maybe some squaddies, but cap progress does continue for the next, I would say, 20 seconds. I'll go back and see it. It's like a bomb and run is happening at Canal. This could be a... Not sure how effective this bomb and run will be. We'll kill a few 47th, but nothing too crazy. But look at this. Bunch of players on the 47th side in the hard cap of rail crossing. Kubiak does wipe out the OP. Looks like 1SPS will defend the point. But with just that little bit of cap progress is going to completely wipe out any sort of presence that 1SPS had for a retake. Very unfortunate for them. But give credit to 47th. They have grinded their way back into this game to take the lead with just over 20 minutes to go. And Loki, unfortunately, he fell off the crane and did die. But now it's like, well, all 1 SPS, they're not even, there's no one in the sector except for this lone little rifleman up here fighting his heart out. See if he can pop off and maybe bring his team back into this game. He hits one. See if he can get some more. Gets two. He is on the garrison, but will get shut down by Claus and Tico. We'll definitely mark his body for a garrison, but, you know, still a pretty good life. He knows where the garrison's at, so good intel for later in the game. Was that Artie? If it was Artie, this is a weird spot, the Artie. We do have some tank fights. .47 is starting to cross the bridge now, and that's not what you want if you're 1 SPS. You want to maintain your side of the river if you are them, but unfortunately, with that reset they were basically forced to do, gave up so much ground for them. One shot does go into this Tiger. Looks like a 76 on top of the bridge. And unfortunately, the Tiger's slightly stuck on the wall. And that will be the end of that Tiger's life. And now with 20 minutes to go, and essentially just, you know, you get basically 2 more Tigers to use with about 20 or so minutes to go. And losing a Tiger with, yeah, it's gonna be pretty rough for them to come back now after losing that Tiger. They have to keep this Tiger alive. If this Tiger goes down, it's almost kind of a wrap, in my personal opinion. But, you know, crazy things do happen to Hell Loose. The game is never over until it's, you know, mathematically actually over. But heck of a job from 47th. Like they do get hit again. They might be getting hit by an AT gun. They are getting hit by an AT gun. That is 2 shells of AT gun in, and they're stuck on a like a tank teeth trap thing. But they are, I think, out of line of sight. Question is, we've seen 47th, you know, do these long flanks before. Looks like they're trying that again with Evil Dead in here in the south. But, you know, no presence in G3 for them. Just kind of opening the door for 47th to continue to wrap around and harass them of where they're most likely going to push from. Like 1 SPS is maybe going to try to battle out that 76. They do have an AT gun in their way as well. AT gun does ricochet. AT gun does go down. Tiger, or 76, actually gets a non-pen. Oh, this tiger has no idea where he got shot from. Gets penned once. And will back up to safety to try to get some reps in. But now with 47th Infantry getting ever so closer. Not sure if that's defensive arty or not. And we have claws here. And he will get a satchel onto that tiger, and this tiger is probably gonna go down. .76 just waiting for that tiger to peak, but this tiger's gonna be no more here in just a few more seconds, with that satchel gonna blow up and take him out. Down goes the tiger. Looks like they do have a tiger coming out of the HQ, but they realistically only get one more. I thought there were people there, but apparently they all died. I just kind of do like a grand map overview of like the entire map right now. You can kind of see there is, you know, good presence from 47th, basically forming a line straight down off their point. But there is some sort of progress. They do have a deep red zone garrison. Evil Dead is starting to, you know, could be a cause for concern here. There is only 16 minutes left, so 1 SPS every minute and every second that ticks off the clock is, you know, time they can't get back, obviously. So they're gonna have to start doing, you know, their play within, you know, the next 10 minutes or so. Usually within 10 minutes is when you want to make that play, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to start making your play with like 5 to go. That delayed is 6 minutes is, you know, pretty safe. Cubic with the FG-42 sniper, just making sure that that's his alley. Benji gets a refrag. One SPS finally getting something established in the north. Oh. Here comes a Tiger and a P4. Gonna try to do something last second here in the last few minutes. Still plenty of time for 1 SPS to mount something up. But each gunfight of each engagement is gonna count so much here. I think my left for beer might be AFK. Or he DC'd. Pretty sure my left for beer DC'd or something. He's just chilling there. Nope, he's back. Oh. My love for beer. Fortunately, we'll get taken down by an STG. You know, this is kind of a breakthrough that one SPS needed. Just trying to clear out these little factory buildings and whatnot. Trying to push back towards the canal crossing hard point. I would not be surprised if they do just stuff the tanks and everything into the hard cap of canal. I think bombing run is going to come down, but I don't think it's going to be that effective for one SPS. And this is their last bombing run. They're not going to get one because it's a 10-minute cooldown, and you know, with essentially 20 seconds left in the... Yeah, it's be very interesting to see. Hopefully for one SPS sakes, they took out the Gary with that, you know, get some sort of value out of it. But I don't believe they did. Go back to rail crossing just to maybe see what's going on over here. Just seems like the same squad just poking and prodding at rail. Kind of some more sub fights do happen. Oh, and silence with the hipfire MG on the grabby. Ooh, and soft. It's killing the force now. Back here in the south, the Carentan's still up. Looks like the medium just got taken out. I assume probably by a 76 or a possible AT gun. Looks like there is a 76 up here in the north. Trying to find out where this Tiger's at, I assume. Very curious of how that tank will engage, how those tanks will engage with each other. God, I cannot say words right now, dude. Holy shit. But look at this, one SPS making really good cap progress. If these players can just get in the hard cap, they could possibly start flipping canal crossing. Unfortunately for them, there's really nothing going on too much in the south, but they are starting to gain a little bit more ground. Hopefully in the next few minutes they can completely gain this, and we can have ourselves a little bit of a shootout here in the last 9 minutes or so into the match. But obviously, with it being warfare, you have to start capping before the 2 minutes kicks off on the scoreboard. So if one SPS start capping at 159, the game is mathematically over. They cannot cap the point and win the match. But in the end, it's just a little friendly match anyways, so nothing too crazy will happen as far as, you know, any league sort of standings. It's just a little practice game for them. But it's been one heck of a game so far, and I assume the next 8 minutes or so will be more fantastic hella loose action. As we see the 4th point getting flipped. They're somewhat contested. It's gonna get very interesting here, folks. There actually is a squad back here starting to gain some cap or some progress. It seems like they are getting shut down. We do have a Tiger tank. Oh, the 76 actually drove over here somehow. I don't know how the 76 got back over here, but it actually kills. Where does the 76 come from? The 76 across the street, I think, actually finished off that that Tiger, but oh my gosh, the 76 just like appeared out of nowhere and just killed that tank. Holy hell! But if you're 1 SPS, you know, less than 7 to go, can't really worry too much about defense. Just have maybe at most 3 people back there. Get inside hard cap. Hopefully you have some mines with you and fully attack this 5th and final, or this midpoint. And 1 SPS in control of most of the match, and then roughly at the half-hour mark, 47th did end up taking Canal Crossing back from them. But it has been one slog of a game so far for both of these teams. Party's starting to really calm down now. Where's this tank going? For some reason, the sniper survived that. Very confused about that. And as all that does happen in the south, still pretty much under 47th control. Rico with a nice little long-range Tommy kill there. But 5 minutes to go. Gonna have to start capping within the next 3. If you do want a shot, if you're 1 SPS, to win this match. I think now that is it the 76 that's over here? Now just some players in the hard cap. They're big kills for either team. Walsh's girlfriend does go down. Matt gets a refrag with the grease gun. And it will start flipping the cap slightly. But 1 SPS cannot really worry about that right now. They do have to basically throw all their eggs into the basket that is Canal Crossing. Oh my gosh, Prado with the rocket onto the infantry. Oh, the Tiger's joining the fight now. This could get interesting. This could get interesting, but also at the same time, there's more SLs and stuff over here. There's actually, yes, I think the 76 is over here, is it not? Yeah, 76 is over here and is being repaired, but it is destroyed. Defense does not start. Fortunately, with 45 seconds to go, you know, 1 SPS do have to start throwing themselves into the hard cap. This Tiger cannot really back up, but no SPS actually starting to cross the bridge over there, but kind of too little too late. And with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, this looks like it will be a 47th victory here on Carentan in a nice little friendly match. And that will be the game. 47th will come out on top of this one, 3-2. GG's to both teams. Just getting your last little combat score and stuff like that. Looks like we do actually have a last second tank fight. I don't know where that's at. Looks like it's up here in the north. And the 47th tank crew will be victorious in that engagement. Yeah, fun little match here on Carentan of Canal Crossing. GG's to both teams. Looking forward to catching more games for both of you guys in the future, whenever that does happen. Looks like there's a celebratorial bombing run for 47th gonna happen somewhere on the map. I assume probably right in front of us, but we'll find out. Nope, just everyone dying on their side of the river. Oh, but Prada, he said, fuck it, I'm taking out the garrison. He actually does take out the garrison, so shout out to Prada with that. But missing his shot, and airstrike does make him pay for his lack of aim there. Oh, I wish this tank would just drive into the water. That would be kind of cool. But that's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. So we tick down the last final 10 seconds. This little area view of Carentan, and boom. All right. So yeah, we'll just look at the scores real quick if the game wants me to. I don't know why I made me go all the way down here, but there's all the scores of some of the players. Hopefully I can get to the top back of 1 SPS before it ends, and there we are. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this one, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably see you guys later next weekend with some more streams and stuff like that, but in the meantime, have a good day and a good night, and I'll see you later. Bye.